I felt maybe a question for some people who are new. What is coherence mastery?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked that question. So the reason I'm so excited about that is because if there is one thing that I would recommend to anyone who's new to spherical luminosity to take, it would be coherence mastery. Because coherence mastery is all about like not only the frequency work, which is really key, it's also about giving a mental framework so that you have an understanding of how frequencies work and how key ones are really important to release and why, and what to become aware of and look out for. That's what we do in Module 1. We release a whole bunch of foundational distortion patterns. And then it's all about how to empower yourself to raise your frequency resonance up. So how to be higher in the bandwidth of frequencies that is you. And when you have that mental understanding and these strategies and tips and tactics of what to do to raise your frequency resonance up, and your frequency resonance is higher from having done the work, at some point you really, really start to soar because you are self-empowered. You really get to buoy up in that spectrum of that bandwidth of frequencies that you and I just talked about. So coherence mastery is one of the most powerful tools that we offer at Spherical Luminosity, and it's a game changer for a lot of people.
That's good, and that probably helps for people whose natural bandwidth is maybe as we're using 0 to 10, they are more mind-centered, so you can address the mind part and the spirit part.
Exactly.
Okay.
You do both at the same time.
Great.
Yeah.
Are there any other little tools that people can use in addition?
Yeah, exactly. So there are, and actually we're going to be putting out a video on daily practices to keep your frequency resonance high, to give people tools. So I think that's really important. So what I would say is, how you start your day and end your day are the most important things, okay, in terms of keeping your resonance higher. Like if you're only going to focus on like, you can only handle two things. You're like, everything else is like too much. You can only focus, right? So how you begin your day is the most critical because it sets the tone of the day, and how you end your evening, like before you sleep, that's very important too, because even if you're not aware of it, how you are in your sleep state and how you wake up is going to influence your next day and your frequency resonance. Totally. So I would say that for the morning, the most important thing that people can do before they do anything else is to intentionally come into the 0 point of space and time. So for a lot of people who are new, they're like, I don't understand that, and I don't know why that's important. So the reason this is important is because it helps you not only be more present in your body. So to back up, what is a 0 point of space and time? Just so people understand what that is. Sure. So the 0 point of space is let's just say the center point of your solar plexus for most people. Okay. So being anchored in the body, and the 0 point of time is the present moment in linear time. So those two, the access point, the crosshairs of those two things, or the intersection of those two things is really important, because those are the coordinates upon which the entire physical reality is created. Okay. So if you're not in that axis of time and space, it's very difficult to influence and effectively create or co-create your reality. Okay. So when you are anchored in it, you feel more stable, more grounded, happier. So when you wake up, okay, it's really important to anchor yourself in space and time. So how do you do that? It's simple in a way. It's to do what I call triangulation, okay, which is to become aware of 3 inanimate objects in the space around you, and to become aware of the distance between each object and you. So, I don't know, the chair is like 1.5 feet away from me, and then you feel the distance between the chair and you. And you do that with the other 2 things. Now, it sounds really simple and kind of dumb, but actually that will help you feel more aware of where you are in space and time, more grounded, more centered, and that keeps you more anchored in terms of your own frequency resonance. Then what you could do is become aware of your connection only to pure source. Or if that's harder for you, to do something or listen to something or look at something that's inspirational to you. Okay, that will connect you to a higher frequency resonance.
Great.
First thing in the day.
That's the point. So if you can't feel your spirit body, or if that's weird to you, listen to a positive affirmation or something.
Yeah, or a beautiful piece of music.
Okay.
Okay, it's something that lifts your spirits.
Yeah.
That you find like makes you feel like the beauty of it.
Yes.
Or like you know, if you have a child or a pet, something like this, like you can touch them. You know, even if they're asleep, you know, you can just put your hand on their back or whatever, and just feel that your love for them. So not necessarily them, but your love for them.
Yes.
That's have a higher resonance. Okay. Or if, for example, you read something that's very inspirational to you, right? Or you can put yourself in nature for a little bit, you know, like 5 to 15 minutes. Sure. You're outside and you don't even have to do anything. I mean, you could move, you could go for a walk, or you could just connect and look at the sky, meaning like take in nature, just be in that resonance, because that is a very high frequency resonance. It's also very in the present moment of time. So it'll pull you into the present moment, which is even better. So those things are very simple things you can do right first thing in the morning before you look at your phone. It's actually really important you do it before you look at your phone, because when we look at our digital devices, especially if we're not strong enough, we come out of our center, right? And then we get pulled on by different people's urgencies, their stresses, their concerns. Yeah, exactly. And then you're not feeling very good. Your frequency resonance is now a reflection of their frequency resonance as opposed to your own. There's also, if people feel like it would be a helpful tool, a very important and powerful meditation called a morning meditation, setting the tone of the day. Yes. And it's a short meditation that I do to help you set your own frequency resonance at the highest level possible so that the day is much better. And I've had so much positive feedback from people being like, that thing is a game changer, because I feel much better throughout my day. And I notice that if I stop doing it, I don't feel as good.
I'm one of those people. Totally. Yeah. And what I've noticed with the morning meditation is it really does last all day. Like even if things come up that trigger you, because we're human, it doesn't affect you as much, I guess. Because it puts you in coherence, I think you said, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then not only that, but because you're at a higher level resonance, when you start your day is different. Yeah. Meaning who drops in, how they react to you, all that stuff changes because your frequency resonance is higher. Yeah,
I feel like the flow.
Yeah.
The flow happens more.
Yeah. Totally. And then at night, before you sleep, one thing you could do, again, is to triangulate, because a lot of people have trouble falling to sleep because their brains are going too fast. Yeah. Right? They're not, right? So one thing would be to actually triangulate again to help you feel more centered, to not look at your device for a certain number of minutes before. So meaning don't like be reading something on your device and then put it down and expect to sleep. To take some time away from that and do something that nourishes you. So it could be something like reading an actual physical book, for example, connecting with your partner, connecting with your child, or just be in meditation. Yeah. Some people have a gratitude practice. They think about the things that they're most grateful for that day, you know, before they go to sleep. But what you're doing in all of those things is entering your sleep state at a higher resonance. And then knowing your space-time coordinates. So when you fall asleep, you're anchored well, and that you can get the most out of sleep. Nice. So that's what
and that can affect your dreams,
Absolutely.
Which then affects the next day, and it's a cycle.
And also, in terms of your frequency bandwidth, for many of you, you'll get to a point in your frequency resonance as you rise up that you'll start to release distortions in your sleep. Actually, you will start to purge them, which is really cool. So if you put yourself in a higher resonance and you triangulate and then go to sleep, the release of the distortion patterns is enhanced. So good thing to do.
Very cool. And so people can also listen to GFCs as they go to sleep, right?
Oh yeah, and
that's what I do every single night.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It can help put you to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So it can help you drop into that resonance, and it's good because, as you say, you're in a higher resonating order because you're listening to the GFCs and in that state of being more aware of your connection to pure source, even though you're not consciously awake. But it sets the tone. And some people listen to the recordings as they're sleeping, like at a very, very barely audible. Oh. And that works too, because it's just about the frequency that's running. So,
but so just to note for people, if you haven't listened to the GFC before, you want to hear it on full volume first, right? Yes. For the first time.
Yeah.
And then any time after that, it can be lower.
Yes. Exactly.
Volume.
Yeah. So it's best to, as you say, actively listen the first time. And there's a GFC following this particular episode. And it is the most, this part is helpful and super important. And the most critical part is the group frequency calibration at the end of this, because that's where the work happens.